9 shocks and lies not shared on Zepbound 2.5 milligrams and Mounjaro 2.5 milligrams. Hi, beautiful friends. I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Shopping. I've lost over 103 pounds, just shy this morning, almost 104, very, very close, over the last 2 years of being on Mounjaro and Zepbound. And I was also on the Tirzepatide compound, the combination of those because of the different shortages. And on today's episode, I want to do a deep dive. I've got for you a ton of pieces of information on 9 shocks and lies that you may not know. If you're just starting Zepbound 2.5 milligrams or Mounjaro 2.5 milligrams, or you're still just kind of in the researching phase of like, I've heard about these GLP-1s, I'm trying to figure it out. To clarify, Mounjaro is for type 2 FDA approval for type 2 diabetics. Zepbound is FDA approved for chronic weight management, both of which are the same thing. It's Tirzepatide. So let's go ahead and dive in. The biggest thing, one of the biggest shocks, and you got to stay till number 7. That one is jaw dropping. I'm going to help you close your mouth on that one. But number 1 is when to titrate up. Now, this is applicable for if you're on Zepbound. I mean, some of the OG viewers here who have been with me for years now are on the higher doses, and titrating up is still a question I get asked so much. The food chatter for me is when I titrate up. You may not know that. Yours may be dictated by your insurance. And of course, obviously, this is not medical advice. I'm not a healthcare provider. This is simply my experience, strength, and hope of having taken this medication with over 100 plus injections over the last 2 years of my life, and literally going from morbidly obese to somebody who can clip her seatbelt on an airplane, can go horseback riding, can go on roller coasters now because I'm not morbidly obese, can run around with my son, can wear dresses, can wear tights, a ton of things, a ton of non-scale victories. But titrating up should be between you and your healthcare provider, in my opinion. If you don't have a healthcare provider that you don't feel comfortable with, all of my links and all of my recommendations are that I've used of having taken this medication. This is not theory. This is my life. Literally, are in the description link below. But titrating up, that food chatter, when that returned, for me is the biggest thing. Literally, I had my telehealth appointment this morning with my healthcare provider, and on our video chat, I was talking about, I'm like, the food chatter's back, the food noise is back. Well, I'm on Zepbound 15 milligrams and trying to still see if there's any cutting edge things that I don't know about to help with that food chatter. But if I had another dose to go to, Zepbound 15 milligrams is the highest, I would titrate up. And so I want to encourage you, is that an option for you? If the food chatter, food noise, or the mental, people are like, what is that? It's where the mental thoughts of food, if you're morbidly obese, you probably have had those. I'm not saying everybody, because there's varieties of spectrum of obesity, but you probably might have had those. Next, alcohol. Alcohol. This is one of the, I think it's not a lie, but it's shocking to me that this is not talked about more, about how much, and we're seeing now in the data, so now it's getting talked about because there's data backing, but how much my brain has changed with taking Zepbound. Now, I haven't had a sip of alcohol in over 19 years, so this is not applicable to me, but I used to smoke. I used to love to smoke before I had children. And so I can see the correlation of that with alcohol, of not drinking alcohol. And so many people in my huge, large encouragement group, I'll link it down in the description link below, but only if you're fun. You got to answer all the questions for it. But people talk over and over and over. If they have one sip of alcohol, that they used to be a daily drinker, or they would drink a couple times a week, and now just one thing makes them really sick, or because of the stomach issues that we can have as side effects there are for gastrointestinal diarrhea, constipation, nausea, vomiting. And so those can change the dynamics of alcohol, or you just simply don't want it, or you have a big hangover afterwards. Or like there's a lot that may change with alcohol that you may not have thought about. Now, we came out of I'm filming this in January, but coming out of the holidays, I heard it over and over and over again. People are like, oh, I had a glass of champagne on New Year's Eve and X, Y, and Z. Either I had gastrointestinal issues, I had a sip and then I stopped, or like a lot of dynamic changes. So expect that if that's part of your routine repertoire or social engagements, that may change. And to me, that's shocking about how much that can change. Other people have substituted in smoking for this, and studies are showing about how with alcoholism, and I'm saying for like social drinkers, not like alcoholism, but with alcoholism and drug addiction, how they're testing GLP-1 medications. And so that may be, if that's part of your genetic makeup of maybe of having those addictions or things like that, that may be a change. And it's interesting to see. I used to love to gamble, not in a crazy way, but like I go do penny slots. I go out to Vegas for work this past year. I've been out there several times and I haven't gambled once. And I used to love to play penny spots. I'm like, oh, I'll put in a couple bucks and play just for entertainment, not for anything else. I don't. I literally don't. I'm like, eh, eh. And so similar to like things that are fun, like alcohol or other things, that may change. And just knowing that that may change, I think is helpful when starting this journey or on this journey or when titrating up. So all my friends out there that are titrating up to higher doses, again, my experience, strength, and hope is with each dose came different side effects for me. So knowing what they are, you can go binge watch my 500 plus videos on GLP-1 journey, but talking about side effects on there, knowing what they are because they did change for me as I walked through this. The next big one for me was sleep. Now, obviously side effects are on here, but that's not a lie or shocking, which I've done those like basic ones of like, oh, what do you do when you have blowout diarrhea? Well, sleep is a big one that people I don't think talk about as much. To me, it's shocking. And I think that there's some lies with it as well. But with sleep for me, it was a big change. I went from having several nights of having massive insomnia. I'd wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I'd be up till 5 a.m. I'm like just laying there in bed until I switched over to BIOptimizers Magnesium Breakthrough. I take magnesium because it helps with Mounjaro Constipation and Zepbound Constipation, but specifically for the sleep. It also helps with restless legs for me, my legs, like aching legs, and anxiety. So I take typically 2 or 3 a night, but they do have like a whole protocol on that. Obviously, before taking any supplements, talk to your healthcare provider. But I love using the Magnesium Breakthrough because of the side effects associated with sleep. And having had young children and not sleeping versus now having an older child who sleeps, it makes a big difference for me when I'm sleep deprived versus not. And so feeling well and making good decisions, it's contingent upon my sleep. Now, I vacillated between being completely fatigued and then also not sleeping. And so this is the big one for getting sleep, but also for me for helping with my overall wellness of when I'm super, super tired, I feel like I get better rest with Magnesium Breakthrough because it has 7 types of magnesium in it. There's more than 70% of people who are magnesium deficient, which is why I love using it, is I know I was. But here's the kicker. I am a science girl. I'm a data girl. I have my Oura Ring. For me, again, this is my experience, strength, and hope, that I can see literally on my Oura Ring the change in data from taking BIOptimizers a long time when I started that switch over. It's been a while now, to where I was taking a magnesium with 1 type in the pill versus 7. And it was a viewer who actually told me. It was an influencer, and then another viewer was like, Elizabeth, why are you taking 1 pill when you could take 1 pill with 7 types of magnesium versus your 1 pill with 1 type of magnesium? And I'm like, why am I doing that? Why? Actually, that's a good point. Why am I doing that? So use the discount code QUEEN. I will link the direct link down in the description link below. Major, major difference for sleep. Big difference for sleep. Next, big difference. Big, huge, in the words of Julia Roberts, huge, big. Mistakes, well, more so like shocking, and I do think that there's some lies with this too, or untruths with it, is change in social dynamics. My social dynamics have very much changed taking this medication. When people ask me now, I feel like I don't know, in a good way I've changed. I feel like, to quote Alphaba, for good I've changed. I've changed for the good. It's change in social dynamics. I used to love to go out to eat with friends. Now if I'm going meeting friends, I'm like, we need to walk. Like, I need to get my physical activity in because something within my brain has changed. Also, I know if I don't get 10,000 steps in a day, which by the way, this morbidly obese chickadee could not do that, like walking 5 miles every day, day in, day out, to now being like, I really want to go walking. That change in social dynamics for me has changed some friendships. Some friendships don't like it. And that's fine. That's fine. They don't want to walk. That's fine. But I do. And so I am very short on my time because my most important things for me are being a wife and a mom. And so spending that time, now that I'm healthy and I can actually physically move and not sit on the couch and not be tired all the time, and also not be super depressed because I was huge, that was depressing. And I wanted to hide from society. Literally, it was humiliating. Losing a ton, I've probably gained and lost over 1,000 pounds in my life. And so I didn't want to go out. And now I still don't really want to go out very much. I'm a homebody. But the change in social dynamics, if I am going out, it's going to be a fabulous meal. If we are going out to dinner, it's not going to be a gross meal. If I'm going to go out, I'm going to eat something fabulous that I'm like, and that y'all can be like Mission Barbecue or even Panda Express. Like, I'm not saying it has to be like bougie, although I do love bougie stuff. But like literally we went to Panda Express yesterday. I did a whole video on how I got 40 grams of protein. It was a fabulous meal. I didn't have to cook or do dishes. Woo! And so like, but you see, like it was intentional in terms of our meal changing. And so, but I'm not just going to go out and be like, oh, let's go get some nachos. Like literally I used to be like, oh yes, let's go get some nachos actually. Let's go get 2 plates of nachos. Now I'm like, let's go walking. Let's go do something else. Let's go be physical. I used to not be a physical person, and now I actually really like, if I'm doing something social, I want it to be physical. I don't really want to meet for coffee. How about we walk instead? And I think in some aspects I'm an outlier on that, and some I'm not. I hear it over and over in my free encouragement group about literally the changes in social dynamics of like, or people who drink, who don't drink anymore. They used to go to wine vineyards, and now that they don't really like alcohol as much, that's changed. And I think just in general, the mindset changed too of, you know, I spent a lot of money. We spent a lot of money on this medication. I pay out of pocket and have for the last 2 years. That's thousands of dollars. And so the dynamics of that have also changed too. If I'm investing so much into my health that I don't want to do stuff like, oh, let me go get a plate of nachos. And I love nachos, by the way. I don't know why I'm bashed on the nachos today, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I really want to be. The social dynamics have definitely changed. Relationships have changed. When I'm talking to my friends, I do voice text. It's usually while I'm walking to get my steps in. And to physically now, because I've had so many non-scale victories of riding my first roller coaster, when I know many of you can relate to this, when I was morbidly obese, literally getting removed from a roller coaster because I was too big to go on it, it was actually, in fact, humiliating. That was so humiliating. Not being able to clip my seatbelt on an airplane, and then now being able to clip a seatbelt, not being able to ride a horse because I was too big. And here's me traveling. Oop, that's not what I wanted to show you guys. Not being able to ride a horse, and now I can horseback ride. I haven't planned my next trip. This was from the summer. I need to plan another one. But being able to get on a horse. And I've actually since have lost weight since riding this horse. And that horse was so sweet. And I'm tall to begin with. I'm almost 6 feet tall. And so doing these physical things, I feel like there's more. Clipping the seatbelts, where was my, yeah, I mean, it's just a ton of life changes within it. So physically now, and I feel like this is a shocking detail that I had not thought about, that if you're just starting this journey, I wish someone had told me, physically, what do I want to do? So we are talking about going to a dude ranch. I'm like, I would love to go to a dude ranch for 2 or 3 days. What do I want to do physically? Maybe you love skiing. Do you want to get back into skiing? Maybe it's roller skating. Now, I don't want to do that because I had to have surgery on my ankle after doing roller skating. So I'm like, no, thanks. I don't want to do that. But like physically walking my dogs, which Mr. Freddie right now is going crazy. Is he out there with Wilma? Oh my goodness. I'm like, hold on. I'm like, if he's hurting, Mr. Freddie was on top of Wilma. I'm like, what is he doing? If you guys know, I love dogs. So what do I want to do physically? Is it walking more dogs? Is it rescuing more dogs? Yes, I love doing all those things. We go to the animal shelter to go walk dogs. We're like, what dogs need to be walked? Because I physically can. What do you physically want to do? And maybe just starting this medication, you're like, I can't even think of that. I cannot even think of that at all. I want you to start thinking about it. What can your life be like with these physical changes? And for me, I wish I had thought about it earlier. Okay, next, medication. Now, I'm not a healthcare provider. I don't pretend to play one on the internet, but what I have heard over and over in my own experience, strength and hope, is my other medications I am on have changed, of either completely eliminating them or reducing them. And I did not expect that at all. I'm like, I'm gonna be on these medications for the rest of my life. And come to find out, I'm like, with this dramatic weight loss, like, maybe I'm not going to be on this medication for the rest of my life. It's titrating down or getting off. And so I want you to think about that too, of like, would that change financial dynamics for you, or something to think about, because I never thought about it. And that was shocking to me, to be like, what do you mean I'm not going to be on X, Y, and Z? Like, maybe that will be a part of your story. You know, that's not for everybody, but maybe. Obviously, always talk to your healthcare provider about changing any kind of medication, obviously. But I find that shocking, and I find that going with the status quo of making sure you're talking to your healthcare provider of like, hey, if you're feeling, for example, dizziness, this one is quite common. If you're feeling dizzy, it may be your blood pressure. Talk to your healthcare provider. Start checking your blood pressure if you're feeling dizzy. Are you on blood pressure medication? Maybe that needs to be reduced or fully off of it. I know so many people are like, I'm fully off of my blood pressure medication. Talk to your healthcare provider. But things like that, if you're having these other side effects, that is one of the reasons why you need to talk to your healthcare provider of like, I'm feeling dizzy or whatever. Like, you know, I'm not a healthcare provider, so or really bad headaches. They need to know about that stuff because that could also relate back to your blood pressure. Next lie or shocking thing, change your clothes. Now, I knew this, y'all, but when I first started, this is the lie-based thinking I had. Someone would DM me on Instagram, which is why I'm thinking of this. I didn't think I was going to lose weight when I started. I tried it because I was desperate, and I was one of the early adapters of trying it because I was in such pain. I'm like, I am going to die young, but I can't keep living like this. It was humiliating. Guilt, shame, condemnation. Yes, I don't feel that way anymore, but that was what my life was like. And I had been on so many diets, Weight Watchers, Atkins, cabbage diet, keto, low carb, South Beach diet, Mediterranean diet. When I was younger, like a chicken salad diet. In elementary school, I started my first diet. And I literally like didn't think this was gonna work when I started. And it did. My first week, I lost more than 10 pounds. And you can see that video, I look totally different than I do now. And I was shocked, literally like, what in the House of Commons is going on? Like literally, I can't believe this is my life. Like what is happening? And I was like, this is working for me. Like this is working for me. This is working for me. Is this sustainable? 2 years now later, I still have 27 pounds to go on my 130-pound weight loss, but losing over 100 pounds, being a size 14 pants, and soon to be in a size 12 is amazing, but I didn't think it was gonna work for me, which is why thinking about the possibilities of not being in plus size clothes, I'm wearing a size medium top right now. It's actually too tight. It's really, really tight. My husband's like, wow, that's tight. I'm like, I know it's really tight. But changing my clothes, and I hadn't thought about the expense of changing my clothes. Literally changing my clothes so much of like, I'm dropping sizes. Think about that maybe for your budget. I buy a ton of stuff on Amazon Deals of the Day, which I'll link down in the description link below. But changing my clothes and changing my style. I used to wear a ton of designer labels. They're very big now. And I'm like, oh man, I wish I had invested in those pieces. Part of it was a defense mechanism too. Being fully transparent of like, I am morbidly obese and I'm a size 24 or 22 pants. It's humiliating, it's embarrassing, but I'm wearing designer labels. And that sounds horrible. When I say that out loud, I understand how bad, like, trust me, I've been through a lot of therapy since then. Like, I recognize how badly that sounds, but it was a defense mechanism. And now my clothes, I'm like, I like wearing designer labels, but it's not in all of my pieces. And I'm saying that to be vulnerable, as an example, to help encourage you for whatever insert your pieces in that. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm hoping my examples I'm giving on my life will be experience, strength, and hope for you for whatever it is for you. It very well may not be the same thing, but it may help you trigger of like, oh, that for X, like it may help you with your specific thing because our lives are different. The stories are similar in certain pockets of it. And so there's that common thread, but hopefully it will help spark in you. I didn't realize I'd have to be buying so many clothes. And so we talk about this a lot about, okay, thrifting or Amazon Deals of the Day, or I'm just having clothes to kind of get through to the next sizing. Eventually, when I get to my goal weight, I will invest in really expensive pieces. But for now, I'm like, okay, this top was $10 on the Old Navy sale, and it's a size medium. It doesn't fit really well right now, but most of their size mediums do. But like just having some cheaper level of clothes, I'm like, okay, like it's the in-between in which I am now, but I wasn't prepared for that. I also didn't think it was going to work for me, which is why I didn't even have that thought. And I'm here to tell you, friends, people are hypo-responders, and that it's a thing. It's called hypo-responders. And there's hyper responders and hypo responders. Hypo responders don't respond as quickly, particularly if you're type 2 diabetic and men too, or the other. Those are the two things that science is showing us right now in the data, which I have the scientific facts on other videos. And so I want to share with you that if you're a hypo responder, keep turning over the stones. The answers are coming. It may just take longer, but you're gonna get to where you wanna go. And if you don't believe that, lean into my encouragement from somebody who I did not ever think that this was going to work for me. If you're on Wegovy, which is semaglutide, slightly less data than a Tirzepatide, which is Zepbound, maybe switching, talking to your healthcare provider about it has higher data of higher level of weight loss on it. And there's new GLP-1 medications coming out too. Later on this year, 2025, CagriSema will be coming out on the market. But all that to say, if you're frustrated with that, know that there's relief. I went off on a little tangent there, but wanted to share that with you. Which, by the way, if you're digging this video, share this video with your bestie and make sure you click like and subscribe. Next tip, this was the next tip that I hadn't thought about, and it was kind of a lie of like controlling loose skin, but I heard so much about people talking about loose skin. Y'all, I have a ton of it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have a ton of it. My stomach looks like dough, like bread dough. My thighs are probably the quote worst. They're very doughy, very loose skin. If I lean over, and the words of Blanche Devereaux, always on your back, because if I lean over, it's droopy and saggy. This, from the neck up, it's great. Actually, I can show you my collarbone is exceptional. It's my favorite piece. I'm not showing it today, but maybe on the next video, you'll see my collarbone. But all jokes aside, but I pay a lot of money for this face. Lasers and stuff, but the lasers aren't quite there yet for the rest of your body. And so loose skin is the thing. I have a loose skin cream I'm obsessed with. I'll link that in the description link below. It's gonna get rid of the loose skin? No. Does it help me make me feel better? 100%. But the loose skin component and wrinkly skin and texture of my skin, which is also why I do collagen. I also do mushroom breakthrough through BIOptimizers. I put, it's only 25 calories. 1 scoop, 25 calories, 1 gram of protein, has bovine collagen and marine collagen. I put that in my coffee. I love it. I'll replace that with like my creamer, but you can put creamer in if you want. But I love that. Having collagen also helps with the loose skin part, but really the loose skin, I can get rid of it by going into a plastic surgeon. That's basically the result. I'm going to be doing I'm testing for you guys. I was getting ready to buy the package for it, a laser package. There's a cutting edge laser that just came out, but the doctor told me already, you're going to probably need to go see a loose skin surgeon, but this will help a little bit. And if you want a little bit of help, then I'm going to do the laser. So I'm going to see, we'll see if it helps. And that's particularly on my thighs, but they're bad. But also the counter, like I know that and I understand that. And I have so much grace, love, kindness, and compassion. If you guys didn't see this summer when I was at the pool, I had these cool sheer pants to wear. They're super cute. I'll link them down on my Amazon link below, but I can wear those around the pool. And so it makes, and they're black. You can buy them in black or white. And I bought them because you can't see the loose skin as much when I'm walking around the pool. So I'll put them on when I'm getting ready to go in the pool, I'll take them off. But when I get out of the pool, I can put them on. And because they're sheer, no one can really see what's going on. I mean, they can, but I feel better about it. So loose skin, certain things, just having to learn to adapt to it. And I'm recognizing, my body's been through a battle. 1,000 pounds gained and lost. Yes, it's been through a battle. The last thing in terms of lies, shocking facts, details, was changes in portion sizes. Of how dramatic for me that happened. It was within the first 24 hours. And so people frequently ask, when do you feel it? Well, I felt it in the first 24 hours. I feel my injection the most 24 to 36 hours after I do my injection. And so keeping that in mind, that portion sizes, I now have like salad plates or my dinner plates usually, or small. I bought a ton of little like ramekins for bowls and just smaller portion sizes. That ebbs and flows as I'm getting near and knowing I need to titrate up soon. My portion sizes do get bigger because I have less appetite suppression. But now in general, my portion sizes are much smaller, particularly 24 to 36 hours after a shot. So just keeping that in mind, that affects our grocery bill. I did a whole video, you can go check that one out, talking about how for more affluent people, their grocery bills drop 10%. Less affluent was 8 to 9% for grocery bill changes because of GLP-1 medication. So factoring that in terms of your cost, if you're like, how am I gonna pay for this? Change in grocery bill. That may not be substantial, but it does help. For us, it helped. I mean, that was a great change. So I hope this helps. all of these pieces of helping to encourage you. If you have any questions, type them in the comments below. I'm not able to respond to every comment, but I certainly will see it and can do an updated video if I haven't already done it on that, or re-loop back if there's more nuanced questions with things. I 100% recommend BIOptimizers Magnesium Breakthrough. Make sure to get that down in the description link below if you don't already have it. It's been such a big game changer for Zepbound 2.5 milligrams. Love it. And above, I'm on Zepbound 15, weight loss in general, but even for people who don't need weight loss, like I literally gave this out to a cousin recently and they're like, it changed my sleep. They have no weight problem. They've never been obese. They've always been very healthy. And like, it's changed my sleep. I'm like, I know. But if you're feeling fatigued too, definitely has helped me with both ends of the spectrum of being fatigued and also not sleeping, because it helped. I went through with the fatigue part, just hormonal changes too, helped with that. I'm gonna go check on Mr. Freddie. If you guys can hear him barking, he's driving me crazy, y'all. This dog, whew, Lord help me. He's an animal rescue. You guys know I love animal rescues, and the rescue is rescuing. Our emoji of the day, we do emojis of the day. So I know that you made it this far in the video. I will pray over you. If you don't believe in prayer, I'll uplift you in positive thought. Our emoji of the day is a lion. All of my kids are lions, and so I love lions. Love lions, so you are a lion, and so put lion down below as the emoji of the day, as our bat signal. And then our question of the day is, what are you doing today? Today, not tomorrow, not yesterday, but today. What are you doing today to move you closer to your goals? My sweet friends, I love you so super much. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'm Countess of Shop and count my blessings because life is delicious. I will see you tomorrow. Don't forget to share with your bestie. Share this video with your bestie and join the group if you haven't. It's free. Love you. Bye.